In the spring of 2026, a quiet realization began to circulate through banks, consulting firms, and technology companies. The highly compensated analytical work that drove modern corporate profits was being automated at an unexpected scale. Software was writing code, reviewing legal documents, and auditing financial statements. This rapid technological capacity forced a disturbing economic question. If machines can replicate specialized expertise, what happens when knowledge itself becomes abundant? To understand the threat, we have to look at what education actually does inside an economy. We view it as a social institution, but its primary economic function is to act as a factory. It creates productive labor. Businesses hire these workers specifically because the value of their knowledge exceeds the cost of their wages. Historically, technological automation targeted muscle. A factory worker could be replaced by a machine because physical labor was a strictly mechanical output. That the analyst, the lawyer, and the engineer were shielded. They possessed expertise. That expertise was difficult to acquire, and in a labor market, scarcity dictates value. If only a small pool of people can build a financial model or draft a merger agreement, employers must pay a premium to secure that labor. Entire financialized economies were built around this exact principle. For decades, the supply of advanced knowledge workers gradually expanded, but the corporate demand for their skills expanded even faster. Wages for educated professionals rose. Human capital sits at the center of the modern economic system. A banker is not paid simply because they possess complex knowledge. They are paid because their knowledge is scarce, and that scarcity is the mechanism that allows them to capture profit. Artificial intelligence introduced a completely new variable into the labor market. It did not target physical movement, it targeted cognitive labor. Previous industrial revolutions focused strictly on physical automation. They replaced the exertion of human energy with combustion and electricity. Even early computing and clerical automation simply accelerated the physical movement of basic data. It was structured, mechanical sorting. AI seeks to automate portions of thought. A junior investment banking analyst spends hours gathering data, identifying trends, and reviewing financial statements. AI systems increasingly excel at exactly this type of cognitive pattern recognition. This diagram shows a simplified corporate ledger for a bank employing 1,000 analysts. Each analyst generates $200,000 of economic value annually, but the bank carries a massive fixed labor cost of $120 million just to maintain that specific volume of output. When AI compresses hours of analysis into minutes, a single worker accomplishes significantly more. The output scales vertically, but the labor cost variable remains completely frozen. In corporate finance, this is known as operating leverage. It exists when a business can scale its revenue and expand its services without requiring a proportional increase in its human headcount. Software can be replicated at an incredibly low cost. Applying the economics of software to human knowledge work provides organizations with a powerful incentive to adopt artificial intelligence as fast as possible. That operating leverage attracted enormous capital. Investors directed hundreds of billions straight into AI infrastructure, surging demand for data centers, cloud platforms, and advanced semiconductors. This created tension throughout the economic system. Executives were incentivized to reduce costs. Investors demanded stronger margins. Employees sought job security and wages. These interests are not perfectly aligned. This chart tracks the initial financial reality of AI adoption. Instead of delivering immediate cost reductions, corporate technology spending exploded upward. Companies purchased expensive computing capacity and built new infrastructure, while total productivity gains remained relatively flat. This paradox is driven by transition economics. Any new systemic technology requires massive upfront investment long before long-term operational savings actually emerge. Railroads consumed enormous capital and physical labor to lay tracks across continents, well before they ever generated consistent profit for their operators. The global economy is currently navigating a similar capital cycle. It is trapped in an expensive, highly uncertain infrastructure build-out phase. The immediate reality is rising costs, entirely contradicting the early promises of sudden enterprise efficiency. A new pressure point arrives with interest rates. If borrowing rates remain elevated, capital becomes expensive. investors become far less willing to fund speculative infrastructure, and businesses face sudden pressure to justify their AI expenditures with measurable returns. In the downside scenario, these massive enterprise investments generate disappointing returns. Productivity gains arrive much slower than anticipated, while routine cognitive tasks are automated, resulting in labor disruption that outpaces the creation of new roles. In the upside scenario, AI successfully expands economic output. It dramatically lowers the cost of analysis and enables workers to direct their attention toward higher-value strategic activities. The true indicators of which scenario is unfolding are not found in technology headlines. They are found in hard financial data: labor productivity growth, corporate profit margins, capital expenditure levels, and wage trends for knowledge workers. All of this points back to the underlying economic mystery. If technology continues to successfully execute complex analytical tasks, does AI actually eliminate the scarcity of human knowledge? History suggests scarcity rarely disappears. It often migrates. When information became abundant through the internet, attention became scarce. When computing became abundant, software design became valuable. If AI makes routine knowledge abundant, judgment may become scarce. Organizations are discovering that generating information and making decisions are two distinct processes. Producing a highly educated answer is becoming increasingly cheap. The true scarce resource will be the human judgment required to decide which answers actually matter.